Welcome to some One Piece action. If you're new to the channel, please give us a subscribe. And if you're a returning viewer and have not subscribed yet, please give us a subscribe. It definitely helps the channel grow. Now, what you're looking at here is basically our original law build, right, that we worked on, but we decided to put the Mountain Bandit kit in. So Dogura, Magura. Now, this was basically a classic build that was very effective when it came out for its consistency and like quick burst damage, right? And eventually fell off because, power creep, um, characters being just stronger, board removal being stronger, everything being more effective, yada yada. So I'm like, wait a minute, where we want to get the most out of all our cards. I felt like a lot of law builds just kind of, how should I say this? It's hard for them to get value out of more of their cards. And I was like, wait a minute, well, this original kit was able to like really squeeze out more value from the lower level cards because of I think that's Magura. He gives the pump, Makino gives the pump. These characters pump and allow you to attack quickly with your low drops. And then, of course, you're doing things like shamblesing them out and then rinse and repeat, yada, yada. So, in an overall sense, it was like, well, why don't we just kind of take the best of both worlds? Since we made our red side primarily our low drops and the green side, the higher end where it carries the game for us. It's like, well, yeah, let's just add Dogora Magara to help boost the red side, the lower end of our deck. And you already see the extra aggro, a little bit extra efficiency. Classic combos. Pump. There we go. Attack. So now we just gain so much access to just like way more aggression way sooner doing it this way. Oh, that happened. Big Mom. Sometimes those cards can be so effective, and then like at the same time, they help you breathe a little easier. It's like, well, you just gave me a life. I'm gonna be okay with that. It's kind of funny. Yeah, I think you might have to let that go unless you. I would say protect that. I can understand the concern. Our hand size was looking a little weak right there. Ooh, we get a law. And just like that, our board is a lot healthier. So, yeah, for the most part, we got one more build, just like one more build, right? We came up with 3 different builds. We got one more build to help bring law into the modern meta. And with so many leaders being viable, it's like, in a technical sense, if we could continue to make leaders viable, like the more leaders we can make viable, the bigger the meta gets. And with the bigger the meta getting, uh, the more chances other decks get to be playable. It's kind of funny. It's just kind of funny. It's like as a default, if we can make decks viable and playable, a good thing taking that searcher away. So now it's like if you want to get Bonnie off the board, you're gonna have to commit a real attack towards Bonnie rather than a freebie. Yeah, so if we can make more decks viable, oh, we're gonna go protect that. Yeah, I was like, say that's a lot of cards, and that's a free block. Wasn't that a free block? That's weird. Can't believe we did that. He swung for 5. We could have blocked with 6, and I believe he played that Big Mom that turn, so that would have been a free block. But anyway, Anyway, attack over. Oh, when you get rid of Otama, I figured the Otama shenanigans was bringing you value. Okay, decisions are being made. They just defended. We got a card out their hand. It should be easier to take out the big mom. Shambles. Let's get a restand play. And they only got one card in hand. The only sad part is there is no taking advantage of all this Don we just gave ourselves access to. Or are we? Yeah, it didn't really matter. It was just for the sake of using it. Understandable. Understandable. Because by the time you actually start doing damage to our life, you're just essentially giving us cards to help us reclaim the game state. If it was even possible for you to take the game state over us. So yeah, I would oh okay, I don't think he came up yet, but Dogura, I believe that's the one that summons, right? I seen a tournament deck. This is one of the last of the Mohicans, as they say. It was he made it far with a law deck, and I was watching some of his matches. I can't remember the tournament or anything. It was news when it happened. So some people might understand or know what I'm talking about. And I was seeing him play Dogura, and he'll just play it. He'll let it sit on the board, and then next turn he'll activate, and he'll summon. He'll cheat out a 1-drop, and the effectiveness of it, just simply conserving, being able to conserve that Don, just being able to get a free 1-drop, and it sounds funny, right? It's just 1 drop. It's only saving you 1 Don, but it was very effective. It was very effective, and I was like, well, okay then. This can definitely help us push our board and help us do more with our plays. Just play it. If they really feel the need to, they have to use resources to get it off the board because we leave it active. Then next turn, you activate it, you cheat out a 1-drop, and now you got 2 bodies on the board minimum, and all your Dawn is still at your disposal. So it's just very strong. It was just very strong. So I was just like, okay, I appreciate this. And of course, if you need to play it the same turn, activate and then summon. If it's only 1 Don, you get 2 characters out, and then you can start doing your shenanigans if need be. So versatility, but yeah, it just amazed me. Conserving 1 Don was making such a difference. It was kind of nuts. Now we get access to Don again, but we just minus them by 4K. They're not. Yeah, they're not gonna chuck cards. Now the benefit of our deck in this matchup. Oh, okay. That felt like that was a necessary trigger summon. The benefit of our deck in this matchup is our speed, being able to. That sucks. Being able to get out a bunch of characters on the board and just start swinging and swinging and swinging is going to allow us to outpace the red yellow Sabo, which in turn, yeah, I'm waiting to see who they bounce back. I'm surprised they didn't put the Nami back and then just like boost that character. Yeah, I'm looking at the Zoro. So he doesn't use his leader ability to gain life. I guess he wants more board presence. But I mean, what Nami provides in terms of the trigger is the fact that she is going to keep allowing you to pop board. But then again, I also get it in this other concept. you have to chuck her if you're gonna use the trigger, but you'll just play her, and then you get the pop, and you just have constant access to pops. Is what I'm alluding to. Especially since in traditional law decks, which is this is more of a traditional build, what you call it, the 5-drop is the important drop. So you'll always be able to just pop our 5-drops and leaving us with nothing but low drops to attack you with. But yeah, I would say use the Mountain Bandit kit. Any law player out there, I would recommend just mixing it up with a Mountain Bandit kit. If you haven't, if you just only using Makino, just throw Dogura, Makino and Dadan, of course. Just throw Dogura and Magara in there again. Go back to some old school method so you can like outpace your opponents. Well, the decision right now is more about whether this is going to be the last turn or not. If it's not the last turn, oh, and then it was that, okay, of course, it was whatever's left in their hand. But we had enough in the event that if we took that last life and they actually went for game, we had enough to stop it. Huh. Oh, that has blocker. Give 2, attach, swing. Makino pump, give 2, swing. We need 5 Dawn. Oh, that's hilarious. Play again, give Dawn. Hope that's not a 2K. Question mark. Oh, right. Duh, that wasn't a 2K because we saw okay, we knew what card that was. I wonder why the person would even write question mark because that was clearly GG. I forgot. I'm over here like, oh my god, I hope that's not a 2K. Doi, we saw the card. That's my fault. But anyway, yeah, we should have took that last life card because at the end of the day, we had enough to defend if they went for game. So it could have potentially let us keep the restand law. Now, I want to say traditionally, this is a tough matchup because of Luffy's ability to just skyrocket his power. And then it's like you have to figure out how to control the tempo of the game because Luffy players normally just like taking a bunch of life cards and then going crazy. So you ask yourself, okay, do I just give them cards in their hand essentially? Or like when do I stop the pressure? Like when do I make the decision to like say, okay, you're gonna have to figure out how to get to your game state at this point. I wonder if a 4-drop Yuta would work well, being that it's one of the very few cards that allow. Well, now, if you compare it to modern One Piece, but in terms of red, at least one of the very few cards to recycle from trash. There's not that many of them. Black has like the overwhelming cards that can help you recycle trash. Black just became really strong. I remember first people cried when it came to red. Then people cried when it came to yellow. I want to say that was next. Now it's black. It's kind of nuts. Because then at the same time, it's like, well, where does it go from here? Having access to recycle cards from trash and crazy board removal. It's like, where does it go from here? Like, does it get worse? Is it gonna keep getting worse? Meanwhile, yellow, because it's because of other things being more relevant or stronger, yellow gets to keep printing cards that just keep stacking cards on life. Which in turn, I think the best way to balance yellow is to print out more cards that don't have counter. I mean, especially on a higher end, just have them really make a decision. Not even make a decision, but essentially, if you're adding cards to your life, then you should just have a lot more bricks or something. I think that's the balance to it. Either that or cards like the new Anel that does sound very scary, but he makes you discard a card to gain a life. So that kind of controls the amount of access to cards you're gonna get. You could look at it as a roundabout way of cycling cards. You discard one, gain one, but for the most part, because you're not gaining more cards in hand volume, or you're not just freely adding a life, which in turn will go to your hand and then that would increase your hand size. That too bad we couldn't swing for a stronger amount. It's literally these particular moments that allows you to put the black yellow Luffy player in a crippling position, because they have to chuck cards in order to prevent themselves from losing. But we swung so light that they just needed to chuck one card. So essentially, they have all the ammo for their shenanigans. If their trash is set up, that is. What was I saying before? Oh, yeah. The Enel thing. So, what makes it annoying is that you gain a life, and the life is defense. The life is automatically blocking an attack. So, it's like if that card didn't have counter power, you could think of it this way, right? If that card didn't have counter power, it couldn't defend you, but now it could because you just chucked it and then gained a life. So, that's technically a way to look at it. Now, this does seem scary because Kuzan could -4 with all those cards in hand. I'm sure that the law player has some sort of combo. That's it, the law player, goddamn. The Luffy player is gonna have some sort of combo to remove something. So we choose to protect, and they are going to play something anyway. I wonder if you can get away with using like the chopper package as well with the mountain bandits. I don't know if that's a, a quick deck or not. Probably not, because all the chopper cards are going to be over one Don, right? And then you have to figure out how to find the right ratio for all that. But in my head, it's like you just take two fast concepts and put them together, and it's like maybe it'll be faster. But no, just you can ignore that. This Luffy player is thinking. They're attacking for a lot. We block. They had no card effect to get rid of the Cavendish. That is crazy. They did not have any card effect to get rid of the Cavendish. I mean, I guess they needed that Luffy to hit the board. Swing for 9. What the heck? Ooh, restand law. We can't. Oh, it's 7 on a dot. Okay. I thought we was like tapped out. Use the Cavendish to, I guess, attack the Kuzan. Get 2 more Don back, maybe? Okay, use our leader to attack the Kuzan. This would force them to come to a decision to block. If they block, it makes it a little safer for us to start swinging. They choose not to. We have access to 2 Don. We can gain access to 2 more. Poke for 7. Sounds crazy, right? 7K, it's just a poke. I like how healthy the board looks. Poke for 7 again. And technically that does give us the Don count we're going to need to allow Luffy to attack without being blocked. And then we're going to be 2 over, which is going to force more cards out of the Luffy player's hand. Interesting. I thought it was going to put all the Don cards on. Okay, that was my mistake. I mean, I would have done it because it's like we got 3 life and they have to attack board. But hey, that's true. We might need the Radical Beam to protect our board. It is a Moria. This could get scary. I mean, they haven't set up their life cards yet, but this could get scary. They definitely have to get the Luffy off the board. And now that they tapped out their Don, I ain't gonna lie to you, to play the Moria, they would need the leader to pump high enough. Yeah, you better use the leader ability. You gotta probably play both the characters. You're gonna need this leader to get juiced. And then if we can defend our Luffy, damn, I just realized since we're at 3 life, the biggest mistake they can make is to attack life before attacking Luffy. That is the biggest mistake they can make. Now, if we can get another Luffy, that would be fantastic. And technically, we have the chance to search for it because I'm sure they're not going to attack with Sabo. And what you call it? Oh, they're attacking Cavendish. Well, Luffy's the real threat. The fact that he attacked Luffy is insane. Yeah, you could just put all the Dawn on Luffy and swing. And then we just got to cross our fingers. But I doubt they have a bunch of 2Ks in their hand. Yep, made a big old misplay over there, buddy. You know, it'd be funny if that last play, they completely forgot about Luffy's effect and they were already choosing to not block. Well, G.